What is going on, everyone? I hope you guys are having a good day or night whenever you decided to watch this video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about a major theory for the Mandalorian Season 3 finale that myself and many others online are speculating about and also extremely worried about. Now, this theory is all about Din's death in The Mandalorian, and I know that might come to a shock to a lot of you, and it is to me as well. But we actually have a lot of evidence and reason to back these claims up. So to recap, the second to last episode of the season just released, and instead of doing a full-on review of it, I just want to talk about it real quick. I thought it was cool. That's it. It was really cool. So that's my review of Chapter 7 of Season 3. I hope you guys liked it. Today, let's more importantly talk about this major theory that Din Djarin is no longer going to be with us after this episode releases. Yeah, kind of shocking, but we do have the evidence to back it up. We have stuff from Brendan Wayne, who, if you guys don't know, actually plays the Mandalorian like 95% of the time. I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, I thought it was Pedro Pascal. It is. Pedro Pascal is the face and voice of the Mandalorian, but he's rarely on set this season. It is mostly Brendan Wayne. So he made some comments today, and also Dave Filoni made some comments today regarding the actual finale of the season. So we talked about the finale and how fans are going to feel and all that. And I'm also going to bring things back to a quote that Rick Famuyiwa actually made a few weeks ago, or something about Din Djarin and all that kind of connects all this together. So let's start off by talking about Brendan Wayne's post that he posted either this morning or last night, something like that. And he is responding to someone who loved the last episode and is talking about it. And he responds saying, "This next episode is going to make you wish you hadn't asked for more. It might just hurt too much." So I wonder what he means by that. Obviously, Chapter 7 left us on a cliffhanger. Din Djarin got captured by the Moff Gideon Beskar troopers, and who knows what's going to happen to him, but I have suspicion. Bo-Katan now has the Darksaber, and she's got her clan of Mandalorians with her. So if this finale is going to hurt us so much that we would rather have not seen it, that means some people are going to die. There's going to be some people not living after this. But the biggest thing is, us, the audience, are only really attached to just a handful of the Mandalorians right now. Paz Vizsla just died, and that was really sad. But all we've got left that we're connected to, if I recall correctly, are Bo-Katan, Grogu, which they're not going to kill Grogu, Din Djarin, of course, and you can say the Armorer if you want to do that. And so if there's going to be something that happens in this season finale that hurts us so much, it's got to be one of the characters that we, the audience, have a deep attachment to. So continuing on outside of this post, we actually got a snippet of an interview from Dave Filoni coming from Collider, where he's talking specifically about the Season 3 finale. And he says, in quote, "The fans, they will have a lot to take in. And I think with any good ending, there's the moment where you're in it, where you're cheering and you feel satisfied. But then there's a little bit after that where you think back at all the things that happened. Maybe you start to put them together in a different way and you realize it's an ending, but that there are other things happening out there in the galaxy that you now know more about." So he doesn't really talk about specifically the emotions we're going to feel, but he does say one word that has me intrigued, and that word is ending. He is calling this an ending. And the way he's talking about it's an actual ending, I don't know. It's kind of confusing because we already know that Jon Favreau has already written Season 4 of this show, and it's probably coming out in probably a year and a half or so. And so the biggest question is, well, if Season 4 of The Mandalorian's already been written, well, of course Din Djarin's going to be in it. Not so much. There's been a pretty big complaint from fans and stuff, not by me, but by a lot of fans, that Din himself has kind of taken a back seat of this season, and Bo-Katan is kind of the leading protagonist now. And one of their directors, Rick Famuyiwa, he did an interview the other week, and he actually is talking about who is the main character of this season, because I personally would say it's Bo, but shouldn't it be Din Djarin? He does acknowledge this and says, "I think now with Bo possessing the Darksaber, I know that there was a lot of expectations that might have shifted both in terms of what it meant for Din Djarin, but also for Bo, and what does it mean? Who is the Mandalorian at this point?" And so I think it could be anyone. And I think that's what they're trying to define in many ways, is what does that mean to be Mandalorian? So that quote right there kind of confirms that the Mandalorian title itself doesn't necessarily have to be Din Djarin. One of my older theories is that the Mandalorian title has always been referring to Grogu. We all know him. He's technically, I think, a Mandalorian, right? He's a foundling, so he is a Mandalorian. I'm assuming he's going to live till 900 years old like Yoda did. So I've always considered him to be the Mandalorian. I think he's going to be the next Mandalorian Jedi that's going to unite everyone, but that's a different topic. But this whole quote right here from Rick kind of debunks or sort of acknowledges and analyzes the entirety that the Mandalorian show itself has to be Din Djarin as the protagonist. And the fact that he's even talking about it makes me even more worried that Din Djarin's going to be gone next season. And obviously the replacement for Din Djarin is going to be Bo-Katan. I mean, when you really think about it, guys, one of my biggest complaints of this season is Din doesn't have much character to this season. He doesn't really have an arc. He's kind of in existence. He's kind of like a passive protagonist where instead of the character actions moving the story forward, it's really the characters around him that move the story forward. It reminds me a lot of Rey in The Force Awakens, which of course was fine because The Force Awakens was the start of the sequels. There was a lot more characters that needed to, you know, kind of be explored and acknowledged and all that, but that's kind of how I see Din in this, and it's just odd it being the third season of this show. And so while that itself doesn't mean, oh, they're going to kill off Din Djarin, all this other stuff, especially what's going on in the season itself, really makes me feel that Din is not going to last much longer, or maybe he's going to be put into carbonite, because we know now that Moff Gideon has captured him, and I'm assuming the season finale is going to be the big fight. Bo-Katan's going to fight the troopers and all that, probably ride or kill the Mythosaur, something like that, while in the midst of trying to get Din Djarin back. I will say one thing that I'm very curious is going to happen is if, let's say this is true, let's say Din is going to die this season. One of my favorite scenes in Star Wars is in Attack of the Clones, and that is when Anakin goes back to see his mother for the first time in, what was that, like 10 years or something like that. And of course, the moment he sees her is when she's just minutes away from dying. Me personally, if they are going to have Din go out like this, I think that would be the perfect way to do it, where Grogu is searching for him, Grogu finds him, but Grogu's finding him when he's on his last few breaths. It would be really sad. I mean, it would be a very impactful ending. It'd be very sad. Of course, it's really just mirroring that Anakin and Shmi scene, which is just beautifully made. But also, it would really give more stakes and sort of closure to this season, because the stakes aren't super high yet, but that would definitely bring them up there. And by the end of it, you would have Bo-Katan with the Darksaber holding Grogu, which I've always liked and stuff. I've always thought she works well as kind of Grogu's mother, while Din is Grogu's father. But it looks like it's going to be a single parent now if this happens. I don't know, guys. This is really interesting the way the season's unfolded. We also had that Bo-Katan show rumor from a long time ago. I don't know if the sources were reliable, but a few people were talking about it. Perhaps the Bo-Katan show is actually just The Mandalorian Season 4, and that's how they picked up on it. I mean, I really don't know. But that is overall my theory for this, and I have suspicion that there's a high chance of this happening. Guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Don't just let me know whether you think it'll happen or not. Let me know if you want it to happen or not. I am really interested to see how you guys are going to react to this theory and all this evidence and stuff. I really have no idea. So let me know in the comments down below. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I thank you so much for watching till the end. Join my Discord server to talk with me about Star Wars and all my friends in there and all that good time, good stuff. And I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video.